Jim Rohn said, success is what you attract by the person you become. How do you become? You become by designing the exact person you want to be and becoming that person right now. You see, I find that most people believe that success is either by accident or by luck. I believe that success is by design. Hi, I'm Alfonso Cuadra, entrepreneur, author, speaker, and creator and host of this program. You see, I went from being a 15-year-old, war-torn, homeless high school dropout to running a successful corporation before the age of 20. But what happened? Did the world change? Did people change? No. I discovered that for things to change in my life, I had to change. And I did. I sat down at 17 years old and I wrote a list of goals. And I designed the exact life I wanted to live. I achieved everything on that list before 20 years old. Success is not by accident. It is by design. And welcome to the Success by Design show, where we bring you the stories and formulas of successful people that have designed their own success. And today we have a special show because we're talking about finances by design. Can we design our finances? And to talk about that, we brought us a coach, a money coach, Judith Kane.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming here to the Rogers Studios. It's a pleasure.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much.
So you're a money coach.
I'm a money coach.
And for some people out there that might not know what a money coach is, we have this vision of a coach, sitting in the back with the whistle, go, 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 go. What is a money coach?
I'm like that. I have to say that I'm like that. I maybe don't have the whistle, but sometimes I have a timer. A money coach is exactly what you think it is. It is coaching someone to their success, only it has to do with money. So we take people who are struggling to manage their money and we set some goals and objectives. Then we create a strategy to make that happen. We help them implement it and we're with them along the road to make sure that they don't fall into those bad money traps again.
So it's very common that someone will be watching this show and they're saying, oh yeah, that's good. Rich people can design their finances, not me. I got this $50,000 worth of debt. I'm not even making money. How can I even think about designing my money? So what do you say to people like that?
And that's where we come in. What we do is we sit down and we talk to those people and say, what is it that you're looking for in life? So we imagine a circle that has finances in it and another circle that has their life. And where they intersect, that's kind of money coaching. Yeah. So we look at them and say, if you're in this kind of situation, how did you get there and what are the behaviors that cause this and what can we do to make it not happen again? So that's kind of the soft stuff. And then we get down to the details and say, if you're $50,000 in debt and you're only making $50,000, what are my options? Can I realistically get out of this? Can I do it with a plan? Do I have to maybe go to consumer proposal? We don't do those. Do I maybe have to go to bankruptcy to look at those? So we give people an honest assessment of their actual situation. And I have to tell you, Alfonso, most of the people that come in to see me for money coaching have no idea where they are.
Do you find that most people just kind of put it under the rug?
Well, it's people they get so freaked out about what's happening with their money that they don't do anything. So they may be making a good salary and they may be in debt, but they're kind of looking at it going, I don't know what to pay first. I'm just going to pay minimum balances. I really don't know where to go from here, so I'm going to stick my head in the sand and hope it all works out. Well, you know what happens. The water comes in and you drown. So you can't do that.
What about the slow drowning? Like you see people get on this spiral, and I find that I was talking to somebody about their finances and I said, why don't you just get rid of this? And they're like, oh, no. What are the neighbors going to say? What is, Uncle Joe going to say? So they get on this spiral, and it's kind of like they just continue to hide, cover one hole and make another hole over here, and it's just a big disaster. And I find a lot of people on this spiral, and are we headed for trouble here?
Yeah.
If a lot of people, and does everybody need a money coach? And where can someone go and find one?
Well, first of all, Money Coaches Canada is the only organization like it in Canada. There's 18 coaches across Canada, and that's what we do. We work with people who are looking how to manage their money. There's another component to our business, which is financial planning, and that's for people who really do have a handle on their money situation, but they're looking for forward thinking. So they're looking what's going to happen in the next 20, 30, 40 years. They're looking for retirement, they're looking for a second home, they're looking to, fund their children's education, they're looking at what happens in retirement, what's their lifestyle going to be like. So those are financial planning people. We do that too. But the money coaching people, it's really important that they actually look at their situation. And like I said, most people have no idea. I've had people come in with box loads full of stuff and said, I just can't bring myself to look at this. Can we go through it together? And absolutely we'll do that. And that's the first step, is acknowledging that there's a problem.
Yeah. And so you're teaching adults.
I do teach adults, but I also teach kids.
And should we be teaching this in schools? Like, why is this not taught in schools? I was never pulled aside and, said, you know what, if you get out of hand, or, this is what you do, and this is the, like, stop hiding, because sometimes I find that some people, they're, $100,000, $200,000 in debt, but they didn't have to be. It was like the first 10,000, you could have just said, you know what, I'm going to hold back and, be more diligent about what I'm doing. So how do we teach our kids?
Well, there are some steps that being taken in the school board that are now going to implement financial literacy programs into the school.
That's
beautiful. I know, and I'm involved in an organization that's on the planning committee for that, so I'm quite excited about that. But we also I taught my son's graduating class a group of students who were going off to college and university, and I said to my son, what would you think if we brought these kids, your friends, in and we talked about this? So he sent an email or a Facebook message out to the graduating class. It's a private Facebook group, and they loved it. They all came in, we sat around, we had some, drinks, but pop and some munchies, and we talked about money. And honestly, those kids had no idea how much it cost them to go to university. And a lot of those kids are going to rely on OSAP loans. So it was a real eye-opener for them.
So what are some of the questions that kids would be asking these days? I mean, I know a big part of it is I would assume is the parents. I mean, they have to set the example first, because the way the household is, has been dealing with money is how the kids will deal with money.
Yeah.
But we can change the cycle. So what are some of the concerns of the youth?
There's people who have never actually dealt with money in their lives.
Wow.
I'm finding that young generation. I have 3 sets of parents that are paying me to money coach their kids. There are people who have never dealt with money in their house. That generation, not my generation, but that generation is now so used to dealing with credit and debit that they don't see money anymore. They have no sense of the value of taking a $20 bill, going into a store, and seeing how much money they're going to have left. That's one of the things that I taught my son's friends. And they were astonished that when you work I asked how much they made, and most of them made between $10 and $15 an hour. There was one kid who was working on a farm and making a lot more, but and I said, okay, this is how much money you're going to make over the summer, and this is how much university is going to cost. Let's get some money out and play with it. So here's your $100 for 2 weeks that you earned because you only got a few hours working in your job. And by the way, I would like my $400 of rent, please. So I would take the $100 from them and say, where's the other $300? And they actually started to get what money meant. Kids right now think that money comes from a wall. I call it the wall of cash. They think it comes from a wall and there's a never-ending supply of it, because that's what their parents have taught them. The parents have gone to the bank, taken money out of a machine, and
it's almost like it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. It's all internet driven. So it is funny. It's very funny.
So you have this book here, Unstuck.
Unstuck.
And just you show it there for the camera, but you do this for a living.
I do.
So when was that moment for you that you said you could actually help people? What's the aha moment? Like, what was that thing for you that made you want to help so many people?
I've been doing this for over 25 years. And I had a practice where I sold investments and insurance, and I did financial planning. And my husband and I were walking around the Olympics in 2010, and I said, I'm not happy doing what I'm doing. And he kind of looked at me, surprised, and said, well, what is it that you love about your job? And so I thought about it. I really thought about it. I remember we were walking up the snowy road up to the event we were going to, and I said, I love helping people with their money. So it's financial planning. I don't like the investments. I don't like the insurance. I love helping people with their money. So it was February 2010 where I had that moment and said, you know what, I'm going to get rid of that. So I sold that part of my practice, and I've been doing financial planning since then, full-time, and money coaching since last September.
And I heard you're a little bit of a celebrity.
Because I met a hockey player this morning.
So, for the people out there, maybe they just, tuned in and they're excited. They're like, oh, someone's actually talking about money, I can take. I want to take the information. What are 3 tips you can offer?
Well, 3 tips I can offer are, first of all, add up your debt.
Okay. Add up all your debt.
Add up all your debt. Make a schedule, make a spreadsheet that says who the debt, whether it's a credit card or a line of credit or a loan, how much you owe, what's left on your credit limit. So if you owe $5,000 and you have $6,000, that means you have $1,000 left. So put $6,000 there and put the interest rate. So first thing you have to do is figure out how much you owe. And that's one thing that people don't do. So
do people lie to themselves? So they don't, oh, I'm not going to count that debt because that's only 1% interest.
I borrowed it from my parents, so
Yeah.
it's not really a loan.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's a loan. So add everything up that you owe. Then look at the interest rates and look at the balances that you owe. So if you've got debt that ranges from 3% to 19%, or in some cases 28%,
Wow.
then you figure out
28%.
yes,
Wow.
department stores.
That's disgusting.
I know. So you obviously you're going to pay those off first. However, if you've only got $300 on a card that only has 5%, pay it off, because you need to have those oh thank you moments where you've actually paid something off. So pay that off first, and then when things are a little bit more equal across your debts, that's when you start paying off the interest first. So gather up what you know. Pay your debts interest, the highest interest first, unless it's kind of like little things, and put yourself on a cash budget.
So just carry cash in your pocket.
Well, Gail Vaz Oxlade on Till Debt Do Us Part, which everybody asks me about, I'm like her, only I'm nicer and I use envelopes. So I recommend that people, if they're going to use
I had this
cash,
vision of her using these jars, right?
she does. She has jars.
Like, do people, is that like, does she recommend that people continue their life like that?
Well, until they can, it's a behavior change. So until they understand that what it's costing them to live. So I use envelopes, and I recommend that people take money out weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, however they want to do it, and they put their discretionary spending in envelopes. So if you're spending $600 on groceries, then every 2 weeks or however often you shop, you'd put the money into your envelope. And when you go grocery shopping, that's what you use. And when the money's gone, you have to start eating the rice and the beans that are in the pantry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
3 tips.
That's great information. Now, of course, what is the quote that you live by?
Oh, the quote that I live by? It's never that bad.
It's never that
It's
bad.
never that bad. I have been through a few things personally and with some friends recently, and it's never that bad. If it's just about money, it's never that bad.
It's never that bad. Thank you, Judith, for coming on the show. And stick around for more of Success by Design Show. talking about design finances. So can we actually have our finances by design? So today in the studios we have Jacqueline Richards. Jacqueline.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Thank you for coming on the show. And you're a mortgage specialist.
I am, and an author of Yoga for Your Personal Finances. You know that we've done some yoga at some moment in time, I think.
One second, sorry. Who's Mike? Mike? Oh, Jesus. Okay, so we're gonna do it again. Yeah, it's good. We just had to do a little. We're good. We'll redo the opening. We'll just.
Yeah, for sure.
Welcome back, and today we're continuing the conversation. We're talking about designing your finances. Can we actually have our finances by design? And in the studios today, we have Jacqueline Richards.
Hey,
good to have you on the program.
Thanks for inviting me.
And you're a mortgage specialist.
I am.
So you are going to teach us how to design our finances?
In a very special way.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Can we have our finances by design?
I absolutely believe that. You know, I wrote a book called Yoga for Your Personal Finances, and it sounds kind of odd. How can you drop yoga and finances and personal and then throw in something called chakra energies and decide that I could do something extraordinary like that? I believe that we all have the opportunity to create our finances by design. It will never be someone else's fault that we've fallen into this, can I say money pit? Maybe we saw it, maybe we didn't, but now that we're in that place, it's time to step up and then step out.
So now the style that you were describing is like a yoga, more spiritual approach to the money game. Is that what it is? So how do you mix the two? Like you have yoga, you have finances on one side, because most people think if I'm spiritual, I can't be about money, and usually people about money are not spiritual. So how did you come to join the two?
Well, you know what you just said? Money is evil, and people who have money are evil, and it flows like that, and it doesn't have to. When you talk about spiritual and spirituality and yoga, some decide that it's one and the same. I suggest to everyone I work with and everyone who wants to consider taking one of my courses, yoga and money is all energetic. If you can do that kind of yoga, flow into these awesome postures, and then save a little bit of money as I continue to clear my mind, because I'm clear with my body in yoga, I'm not going to make myself sick because I don't have money. So
explain, go through the steps with me of what you would do with like a client. I come in your office, Jacqueline, I got this much debt. Do you just get into a pose? Is that what you do?
That's right. Oh, we could fall into a handstand, but we won't. So when I usually hear it on the phone. And so that is the wisdom of an expert. You can hear what's going on. And I get that call, Jacqueline. Oh, Jacqueline, I need to speak to you. And I'm going to be really honest with you. You know what? Let's set up a time and I'll send you an email so that you're absolutely clear about the place that we're going to meet and the time we're going to connect. And then when I sit down, I can see that your shoulders are way up here, just like this. And then your hands kind of fidget. And then you can't sit still. And I will ask you to take a beautiful deep breath and lift the shoulders and take them back and drop them down. And on that exhale, you know that you're in this place where you're prepared to have a conversation about what's going on in your life.
It makes sense. So often like we lose our keys, or we're in a rush and we can't find that, or we're looking for that thing in the fridge, and we're such in a rush, we're panicking, we can't find it. Then my little 7-year-old comes in, what do you mean the keys are on the counter?
Right in front of you,
right
Dad.
Yeah. So it's like if you just took the time and would do the breathing and just relax, you would see that it's right in front of you.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of that's your approach.
Very much the essence of it. Because as soon as you decide, you'll stay present and consider what could be next. What could be next? What could be next? That's a question we get stonewalled in. Don't ask that. What's now? What's now? No, what could be next? Give me my 3 options. I will suggest we always have 3 options. Don't do anything, do everything, or sit and coast. And then we take that beautiful deep breath and you lift the shoulders and you take them back and you drop them down. You say, I'm going to step forward. And I'm going to find someone who can help me step forward, because I'll wipe that shame, that guilt that I have for not being where I wanted to be, not being where people said I should be. I will take that essence away so that I can sit clear and have a conversation with Jacqueline. Okay, let's talk about that money thing again. Yeah, I have a little bit of debt. You know what the government's doing to us now? Yeah, I
Recession.
do. Yeah. I had this phenomenal conversation. David Chilton was in, he was here in the nation's capital, but he was in Montreal. So I met him in Montreal. We had this great conversation. He said, Jacqueline, the demographics say it all. I said, and he's on his RIM. I said it, RIM. So we're both on RIM, which is now BlackBerry. And he said, we're working with the demographic that's experiencing late life divorces and late life layoffs. And no one ever thought that that was going to happen in this time frame, but man, you talk to your friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your parents, your aunt and uncle. Yeah, we know someone who went through that, and now they don't know how they're going to pay their mortgage. Jacqueline, wow, what can you do? Take a breath. Let it go. Let's sit down and talk about it.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you wrote this book, just for the camera, just really quickly flash the book, Yoga for Your Personal. Yeah, okay. So tell me, did you find any resistance from the yoga community? Because, I feel some yoga people are really extra spiritual and then just like so zen that they're broke.
Yes,
so,
yes. The poor monk.
Yeah. So did you feel any resistance?
It was curiosity. How can you, I'm a registered yoga teacher, how can you teach about tantric yoga, which is what I do, and hatha yoga, and how can you teach that and teach money too? So many prophets have said, you know what, make the money so that you can go out and help people. That's what I talk about in the 7th chapter. What charities are you helping with? Hopefully it's a charity that's near and dear to you, but without the cash, without the coin, and without that thoughtful presence, how are you going to know which charity you want to contribute to, and then how much do you want to contribute? Maybe it's not about money. I'm a YMCA, I forgot that part, volunteer for now almost 2 decades. And I've been a group fitness instructor and a yoga instructor with that entity. Volunteer. Who doesn't need it? We see our kids this tall. My little girl, she's a YMer, YMCA, YWCA, and she's been with them since I've been with them. Now, am I giving back?
Absolutely.
I know that you made that quote in the beginning of your show. It is all about the give back. And if I can't help you make the money to be really confident and pursue that dream, then I'm not doing what I believe I was here to do.
So that's a perfect segue into my next question, because I was thinking about this. How do we help our kids, the youth? of today, how do we help them understand finances, take some time, breathe, put the shoulders back, and let's stand in our truth and now move forward.
Yeah. Incredibly interesting. And I tell this story, and you can read the story, it's chapter 6 in the book, but it is about someone who's decided it makes sense to become an entrepreneur. And that happens to be a 12-year-old. And that happens to be my daughter. And at that moment in time, she decided, because she loves, I don't know any little girls who don't like having their nails painted, but she decided she was going to open a spa and babysitting services, because at the Y, I made sure that she took her CPR so she can perform CPR. And I would love for all adults to have CPR. So she had that in her pocket of tools. She decided she loves painting nails. She's going to be a mani-pedi specialist. But not just that. She's great with her hands, and she does a fantastic neck massage, and everyone says that. And at some moment in time, she had a mentor, a student mentor, and she decided she could do that. She could do that for kids who are in grade 1. So what did she do? She decided to open a company. She borrowed money from Mommy to buy her supplies.
You charge interest? You get it. That's a lesson. That's a lesson.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lesson learned. So she borrowed money to buy her products. Then she did her promo because she's seen Mommy do that. So she had her flyer, she had her business card. She had her business card with the magnetic so that she could leave it on someone's mailbox. So here is a 12-year-old who's decided to take her life into her own hands. I'd rather not fight with her about that, but as a parent, you got to support that, right? So by the end of the summer, she had clients, she trained, she had a manual that's 3 times this size for her staff.
Procedures.
Yes.
I love it.
So, and I'm watching this happen, and I'm giggling, I'm in questionable tears. And what do I need to do? She's going to make money. I asked my financial advisor to meet with her. So they sat in chapters, had a hot chocolate and a coffee, and talked about money. So it was my job to be responsible to my daughter. It was my daughter to be responsible to her business. And it was my financial advisor to know that her mom is about training children.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Jacqueline, we have about 2 minutes before the end of the program.
Ooh.
We always ask people, give us some tips, maybe 3 tips that maybe a viewer at home could take and run with.
I will start with take that deep breath, because we are shallow breath all the time. But once you take that breath, you are in this space. And then I'm going to ask you to take a chance. This country and so many other countries are run by entrepreneurs who are either frightened of where they'll get to or can see where they just could get to. I would suggest that you pick up the phone like I did and find a professional to interview. I'm not saying work with them, interview them, ask them those mission critical questions. What do you want them to put in your pocket of tricks? And a side note, call a celebrity. I told you I met with David Chilton, the wealthy barber. I've met Deepak Chopra. I've met Lynn Twist, the soul of money. And then that third...
Reach out to those people.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid, because they will pick up the phone. And my third tip of the day is to truly believe in who you are. Script. Write. Get angry, get mad, get envious, and then write down your wants and your needs and find that balance. And find a yoga instructor, because they'll help you too.
Jacqueline, I want to thank you so much for coming on the program and teaching us how to have our finances by design. Hopefully you come back.
Absolutely. For you, anything.
All right. That's what I like to hear. So I hope you guys learned something today, because you can have your finances by design. This is not by accident here. It's not by accident, right?
No, it's not.
It is by design. So come back next time for more of Success by Design Show.